everyone, and welcome back to game number 3. We are in the midst of a fantastic series that is the WCS Season 2 semi-finals, Bomber versus Rain. The map is Bel'shir Vestige, and in the bottom right hand corner we have our blue Terran Bomber, and in the top left hand corner we have our red Protoss Rain. Now I've seen just some absolutely fantastic games between these two so far. The series is tied at 1-1, so as close as it can be this early in a series. Now, had a great game number 1, Bomber able to power through in what well, not really a base race, but him able to knock down the front door of Rain's base while Rain was hurriedly warping zealots and all manner of Protoss goodness behind his mineral line. So able to take number 1, but Rain able to return the favour against Bomber, who mech'd in game number 2. Be interesting to see, will Bomber in fact try that mech style again, or will he, having seen how Rain responded to that in game number 1, will he mix it up and go for something different? Rain was able to convincingly give that the thump down. Good thing that he didn't decide to skip his robotics bay, as those immortals were probably all that stood between him and certain death in game number 2. See standard openings out of both these players so far. Gateway coming down for Rain, and first gas being taken. Fairly standard sort of stuff. Just wondering with you guys at home here, who are you cheering for? Are you big Terran fans and going for Bomber and hoping he progresses to what would be a TvT final? Or are you cheering for Rain, hoping the Protoss make it through to that final series of games? We do of course know that whoever wins this series will be facing off against Maru. Maru beating Innovation in a best of 7 series to take the other final spot. So who will be joining him? Will it be Bomber for a TvT final, or will it in fact be Rain? Cybercore coming down now. Probes being chrono boosted out. Have an orbital on the way. And first Marines on the way for Bomber. We haven't yet seen whether Bomber will indeed drop his quick command centre down on the low ground. Quite a frequent out of Bomber so far. We have a reactor coming out, bit early, bit different for Bomber here. Bomber almost got his 400 minerals. I think we'll see him drop the command centre, and indeed he does. This SCV choosing to be a bit of a pest at the Protoss, trying to gain him a few valuable seconds. Got to remember, every second that he delays this probe is seconds that he has his expansion before Rain does. So Starcraft often a game of seconds. You can win or lose it just on these small amounts of timing. So warp gate on the way now for Rain. And we can see a zealot streaking up into the main for a scout, and these Marines hauling it as quick as they can lug their miniguns after this zealot. The zealot seems to be a world sprinting championship, not stopping for anything, running behind the mineral lines, trying to get a good scout off. Just wondering, are we going to see what we did last game, or is it indeed going to be mixed up? Bomber able to save all those SCVs. Zealot goes down. We have 4 Marines on the field. Marines being produced 2 at a time. Factory now on the way. Factory being swapped onto that reactor. We're going to see Widow Mines. No, Hellbats. Hellbats moving in. Widow Mines are quite devastating against early game Protoss if you get lucky with those. If you have good positioning and lucky with those detonations, a Widow Mine can one-hit a Stalker, which is just great cost efficiency for Terran. 125 minerals, 50 gas, as opposed to the 75 and 25 for the Widow Mine. So if positioned well, they can just do absolutely devastating damage to the Protoss army. First medevac on the way. 2 Hellions moving out to reinforce these Marines. These Marines just poking back and forth against the Stalkers. Stalkers are a little bit quicker, but being forced back by the sheer number of units. Mothership core drops the photon overcharge. Will that prove to be premature, or will it be what Rain needs to hold this force off? Managing to keep a second Stalker alive with some good micro. No kills on the Nexus as of yet. These Marines are moving down to join the force in the middle, and the medevac. Now, what what are we going to see with this medevac? Is it going to lift? Remember, Rain dropped the photon overcharge as natural, so he cannot do that at the main base. He's only got 3 stalkers. I think Rain feels like a medevac drop's coming, and he knows that he needs to stop that from landing his main. Very, very light on units on the ground. So will Bomber be able to sneak into the main and cause massive damage, or will he in fact be forced back? Observing knows what's going on. Rain choosing to morph in stalkers down here next to the Terran base, knowing he can quite easily put pressure on this expansion as long as he can hold off this pressure at his front. Hellions running by into the main, stalkers being forced to make a decision. Will they keep shooting Marines, or will they follow these Hellions up into the main? We see poor probes trying to fight Hellions up here. We see probes going down, Marines dying to these stalkers at the front of the base. Stalkers able to pick off those medevacs, but these Hellions starting to do tremendous damage up in the main base. 8 workers killed from that run by. Rain able to do great damage down here with his stalkers. Move in. Oh, Bomber's forced to GG out of the game. What a quick and aggressive game out of these 2 players. Able to hold off that pressure at the front of his base. Rain did lose quite a few workers, but those stalkers that were positioned to counterattack down here, Bomber left himself very exposed, and Rain was able to capitalise on that. So we see Rain taking a 2-1 advantage in this tournament. Is he able to upset Bomber's momentum? We've seen Bomber just absolutely on fire in this tournament, but starting to slow down in this semi-final series. Has Rain got his number, or will Bomber be able to equalise this series? Find out in game number 4 coming up right after the break. Thanks, guys.